Representative Jared Moskowitz just cornered FBI Director Kash Patel with a single devastating question that exposed the entire Epstein files controversy. What started as Patel's confident deflection, on what basis, ended with him committing to investigate the very estate he'd been protecting. In 47 seconds, one Florida Democrat unraveled months of careful political positioning and forced America's top law enforcement officer into a promise that could reshape the entire Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I begin, I want to caution my colleagues on, one-sided violence in this country. We just heard that there were no riots on the right. We're literally sitting in the building where there was a giant riot by supporters of the president, the right. We also heard that only leftists, have said that Trump is a Nazi. In 2016, the current vice president of the United States said, Trump is either a cynical asshole or he's America's Hitler. And so this is the problem. I don't want to have to say this garbage, but you want me to sit here and get painted with one brush, the whole left. No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right. And we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and my condolences on the loss of your friend. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platforms, It's crazy what's going on the social media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life all day. It is totally rampant. Big names on the right, Candace Owens, right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all of that. What's happening is you see people celebrate Luigi Mangione is a byproduct of all of that. And so if we want to do something, then we should talk about Section 230. We should talk about how we're going to make sure that we don't let foreign governments poison our children's mind. And so I will work with you on that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem. So now, that was the good part. I want to take your attention back a second, Breaking news. Kash Patel is nominated to be the FBI director. Dan Bongino is nominated to be the number 2 at the FBI. MAGA celebrates, rejoices, bells are ringing out. The team, Patel, Bongino, that sought out every podcast microphone to talk about the Epstein list. The names are finally going to get released. It begins. They produce white binders. Phase 1 with the podcasters. This is not actually one of them, of course. I made this. Your name's on it, right? And the names are going to come out. Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk. Then a memo comes out all of a sudden and says, there's no list. Oh, no phase 2. Phase 2 binders never happen. You said the conspiracy theories around Epstein just aren't true. They never have been. And yesterday, in an answer to Senator Kennedy, you said the FBI is not in possession of any credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. So according to your testimony yesterday and in this committee, according to the evidence the FBI has, the number of names on the list are 0.
No,
zero.
The index has been released, and the number of people involved in that trafficking operation were charged in 2018.
Other than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, your testimony in the Senate and here is that according to the evidence you have, the number of other names is 0.
That were charged based on credible evidence.
Well, who are the other names? Give me the other names that weren't charged.
we are not releasing the names of anyone because the Department of Justice never does that, of anyone that didn't have any credible information to attack them.
Let me move forward. The president has, you've seen the picture of the woman's body with the writing and the president's signature. The president says that's not his. Okay? President says it's not his. The Republican colleagues say it's not his. The administration say it's not his. Will you be opening up an investigation into the Epstein estate for putting out a fake document with the president's signature linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring? Will you be opening that investigation into that?
On what basis?
On what basis? They literally put out a fake document, according to the president, with a fake signature. It's a forgery of the president of the United States signature. That's the basis.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, I look forward to that investigation. Am I over? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your diligence.
Gentleman's time has expired. Chair.
What Representative Moskowitz did in that exchange wasn't just skilled questioning, it was a masterclass in how to corner a reluctant witness using their own contradictions. By the time Patel said, "Sure, I'll do it," he had already trapped himself in a web of political promises that he couldn't escape without looking worse. Let's break down the tactical brilliance here. Moskowitz opened with theatrical setup, mocking the white binders and Phase 1 promises that got Patel nominated in the first place. This wasn't random showmanship, it was establishing the stakes. He reminded everyone that Patel's entire political brand was built on transparency promises about Epstein files. When someone builds their career on a specific commitment, you hold them accountable to that exact commitment. The congressman then systematically dismantled Patel's credibility by highlighting the contradiction between campaign rhetoric and governing reality. Before taking office, Patel promised explosive revelations. After taking office, he claimed there was nothing credible to reveal. That's not just a policy shift, it's a complete reversal that suggests either incompetence in his pre-appointment assessments or deliberate deception once in power. But the real genius was the trap itself. Moskowitz presented a scenario where Patel literally couldn't win. Either acknowledge that the Trump birthday letter is authentic, which creates obvious political problems, or agree that it's a forgery which demands investigation. By framing it as fake document with the president's signature linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring, Moskowitz made inaction legally and politically untenable. Patel's initial response, "On what basis?" revealed how unprepared he was for this line of attack. A competent FBI director would have anticipated this question and prepared a substantive legal response. Instead, Patel seemed genuinely surprised that someone would ask him to investigate potential document forgery, which is literally within FBI jurisdiction. When Moskowitz clarified the basis, forgery of a presidential signature, Patel was cornered. Refusing to investigate document forgery would make him look like he's protecting Trump, but agreeing to investigate opens up an inquiry that could lead anywhere. His quick "sure, I'll do it" suggests he chose the path that seemed less immediately damaging without considering the long-term implications. This reveals something crucial about how institutional accountability actually works. It's not enough to rely on good faith or professional norms when dealing with political appointees. You need to create situations where the politically advantageous choice aligns with the institutionally correct choice. Moskowitz did exactly that. The broader context makes this moment even more significant. For months, Trump supporters felt betrayed by the administration's handling of Epstein files. Patel's promise to investigate the estate gives those supporters something concrete to point to, while simultaneously opening up avenues of inquiry that the administration probably doesn't want pursued. What makes this particularly damaging for Patel is that it happened in public, under oath, with cameras rolling. He can't quietly walk back this commitment or let it disappear into bureaucratic delays. Every future hearing will include questions about the progress of this investigation. The political implications extend beyond just this case. When law enforcement leadership makes commitments under congressional pressure rather than based on evidence and legal standards, it sets a precedent for how investigations get initiated. That's dangerous territory for any FBI director, regardless of political affiliation. This exchange also demonstrates how congressional oversight can work when members come prepared with specific, well-researched questions rather than grandstanding. Moskowitz clearly understood both the legal framework and the political dynamics at play. He used that knowledge to create a moment that was simultaneously good television and effective oversight. Notice how Moskowitz controlled the pacing throughout. He didn't rush to the trap question. He built the foundation first, established the contradictions, then delivered the kill shot. That's professional-level interrogation technique being deployed in a congressional hearing. The lasting impact here isn't just about Epstein files or Trump letters. It's about establishing that political promises have consequences, that congressional oversight has teeth, and that even Trump appointees can be held accountable when confronted with skillful questioning and impossible choices.